a WikiVidi Documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. The MEG. The MEG is a 2018 science fiction action thriller film directed by Jon Turteltaub with a screenplay by Dean Georgaris, Jon Hoeber, and Erich Hoeber, loosely based on the 1997 book MEG, a novel of deep terror by Steve Alten. The film stars Jason Statham, Bingbing, Rainn Wilson, Ruby Rose, Winston Chao, and Cliff Curtis. In the film, it follows a group of scientists who encounter a 75-foot megalodon shark while on a rescue mission at the floor of the Pacific Ocean. Walt Disney Studios originally purchased the film rights to the book in the 1990s. But after several years in development hell, the rights landed at Warner Brothers. The film was eventually greenlit in 2015. Turteltaub and much of the cast joined by September 2016. And filming began the following month in New Zealand and ended in Sanya, China in January 2017. A Chinese-American co-production, the MEG was released in both countries on August 10, 2018, in real 3D. It has grossed $526 million worldwide and received mixed reviews from critics, with some describing it as an entertaining B-movie and others calling it neither good enough nor bad enough to be fun. Plot: a rescue team led by Jonas Taylor is saving a group of sailors trapped inside a sunk nuclear submarine when Jonas sees the hull of the submarine being damaged by an unknown creature. Two rescuers are stuck in the damaged submarine and say their return to the rescue submersible will take a few minutes. Taylor leaves them behind, because he is afraid they will all die if they wait. As they leave, the damaged sub explodes. Taylor's claim that a giant sea creature caused the disaster was dismissed by his teammate Dr. Heller, who believes Taylor was affected with pressure-induced psychosis, and blames Jonas for the loss of their friends. 5 years later, billionaire Jack Morris meets Dr. Minwei Zhang at the underwater research facility, Mana 1, which Morris finances. Zhang and his daughter, Suyin, an oceanographer, are supervising a mission to explore what may be a deeper section of the Marianas Trench, concealed by a thermocline cloud of hydrogen sulfide. The mission is being conducted by Lori, Toshi, and the wall in a submersible. The mission appears to be going well until a very large creature hits the submersible, causing it to lose contact with Mana 1. James McCrides, another crew member at the station, suggests sending Taylor down to attempt to rescue, citing the similarity to his story. Despite Heller's objections, Zhang and Mac decide to travel to Thailand to recruit Taylor anyway. Suyin attempts the rescue herself, but a colossal squid intervenes. Before it can kill her, a massive shark kills it. Agreeing to help, Taylor reaches the trapped submersible, saving Lori and the wall. However, when the giant shark returns, Toshi sacrifices himself by closing the hatch door and detaching the rescue vessel, allowing Taylor, Lori, and the wall to escape safely while he diverts the shark's attention to his sub, causing it to be driven into a thermal vent, causing an explosion. Back at Mana 1, the crew discovers that the shark is a megalodon, the largest shark ever known, believed to be extinct for millions of years. Meanwhile, Suyin's daughter goes to the large glass leading to a beautiful underwater view of the ocean, and sees the megalodon through the glass, and is petrified. When Suyin comes down with Jonas, they see a whale being eaten alive by the massive shark. The crew then realize that it has escaped from the depths of the trench by swimming through a hole in the thermocline created by the thermal vent explosion, briefly raising the temperature enough for it to safely pass. The group decides to track and poison the megalodon, which they succeed in doing. While injecting the megalodon with morphine, Suyin's oxygen mask gets compromised, but Taylor revives her with CPR. Despite initial success, Taylor comments that the teeth don't match up with the previous attack. Shortly after, a colossal megalodon emerges from the water, kills the wall, Heller, and Dr. Zhang, capsizes the boat, and devours the smaller megalodon. The surviving crew returns to Mana 1 in 2 dinghies. Morris announces that he has informed local governments and naval forces, but it is out of their hands. At nightfall, Morris attempts to destroy the megalodon himself by ordering a helicopter crew to drop modified depth charges at it, citing that the creature's actions could result in lawsuits. He approaches the carcass of the supposed megalodon in a boat, but discovers it's a whale. When the megalodon approaches, the boat accelerates, causing Morris to fall overboard and be eaten raw by the megalodon. Taylor and the remaining Mana 1 crew discover Morris' deception and resolve to track and kill the shark, only to realize that it is en route to a crowded beach on the Sanya Bay. The megalodon kills several beachgoers before the Mana 1 crew plays audio of a whale call to divert the shark's attention towards them. Taylor and Suyin attempt to destroy the megalodon with rigged torpedoes, to no avail. And in the process, Taylor's submersible is severely damaged. Taylor manages to cut the megalodon with parts of his sub and stab it in the eye with a harpoon. Due to the presence of blood, multiple sharks in the area notice the blood and devour the megalodon, killing it. During the fight, Suyin was able to evacuate everyone to a boat where a Chinese couple is getting married. Taylor gets on the boat, and he and Suyin consider taking a vacation to celebrate their triumph. Development. The rights to the novel were initially acquired by Disney's Hollywood Pictures in 1996. Around that time, Tom Wheeler was hired to adapt the book into a screenplay, but, having decided that his script wasn't good enough, the studio hired Jeffrey Boam to write a new draft. Boam's script was later rejected for the same reason. By 1999 the project had stalled and the rights reverted to Steve Alten, the book's author. In 2005, reports surfaced that the project was being developed by New Line Cinema, with an estimated budget of $75 million, and a slated release of summer 2006. Names attached to the production included Jan de Bont as director, Guillermo del Toro as producer and Shane Salerno as screenwriter. However, New Line later cancelled the project due to budgetary concerns. The rights reverted to Alten again, but the film remained in development hell. In 2015, it was announced that the film was now moving forward at Warner Bros. With a new script written by Dean Georgaris. By June of that year, Eli Roth was reported to be in talks to direct, but due to creative differences, Roth was replaced by Jon Turteltaub in early 2016. Jason Statham and much of the cast joined in August and September 2016. Visual effects. The visual effects team was challenged with not only designing a previously undiscovered prehistoric giant shark, but also designing the underwater environments and atmospherics, including realistic coral reefs, bubbles, and other sea life. Released by Gravity Pictures in China and by Warner Bros. Pictures in the United States, the MEG was originally scheduled to open March 2, 2018. Warner and Gravity then said that the film would be released during the 2018 Chinese New Year period in China, a week-long annual holiday that kicked off on February 16, 2018. The film was later pushed back to its eventual date of August 10, 2018, in 3D and IMAX. The first official trailer was released on April 9, 2018. The studio spent $140 million on global prints and advertisement for the film. Box office. The MEG has grossed $142.6 million in the United States and Canada, and $383.4 million in other territories, for a total worldwide gross of $526 million, with a production budget of $130 million, and another $140 million spent on advertisement. The film needed to gross at least $400 million in order to break even. In the United States and Canada, the MEG was released alongside Slender Man and BlacKkKlansman, and was originally projected to gross $22 million from 4,118 theaters in its opening weekend. The film made $4 million from Thursday night previews, leading analysts to predict it would outperform its low $20 million projections. After making $16.5 million on its first day, weekend estimates were raised to $40 million. It went on to debut to $45.4 million, topping the box office and marking the best solo opening of Statham's career, as well as Turteltaub. It made $21.5 million in its second weekend and $13 million in its third, finishing second behind Crazy Rich Asians both times. In other territories, the film debuted to $101.5 million from 96 countries, for a worldwide opening of $146.9 million. In China, a co-producer of the film, it grossed $50.3 million from 12,650 screens, ranked 3 in the opening weekend. Other top openings were Mexico, Russia, the United Kingdom, Spain and the Philippines. Critical response. On the review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes, the MEG has an approval rating of 46% based on 236 reviews, with an average rating of 5.4. The website's critical consensus reads, "The MEG sets audiences up for a good old-fashioned B-movie creature feature, but lacks the genre thrills, or the cheesy bite, to make it worth diving in." On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 46 out of 100, based on 46 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A to F scale. Owen Gleberman of Variety gave the film a mixed review, calling it neither good enough nor bad enough, and writing, "The Meg, a rote sci-fi horror adventure film that features a shark the size of a blue whale, comes on like it wants to be the mother of all deep-sea attack movies. But it's really just the mother of all generically pandering, totally unsurprising Jaws ripoffs." In a more positive review, Alex Hudson from Exclaim said the film succeeded nicely on modest terms. "As pulpy action films go, this is the best blockbuster about prehistoric monsters you'll see this summer. Sorry, Jurassic World." Scott Mendelson of Forbes was impressed by the film's special effects and called it a polished B-movie that delivers the goods, while IGN's William Bibbiani praised the performances of the cast, particularly Statham. Writing for The Hollywood Reporter, Simon Abrams said the film was refreshingly unpretentious and a breath of fresh air compared to the Sharknado series. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?